Hi everyone, Mr. Peabody here. Just letting you know what's going on in Western Australia. It's happening around Australia, but more so in Western Australia because our Premier brought out different mandates than they have in the eastern states. Sort of. I know they're a little bit different. But anyway, let me tell you what you need. If you want to go into a pub, a club, a cafe, a restaurant, I'm talking about a proper restaurant. I'm not talking about McDonald's. McDonald's couldn't give a toss. And if you want to go to a bottle shop, as in a liquor store, you need, before you can do anything, as you go to the door, as you enter the premises, you have to show proof of vaccination. So that's my certificate there, and your ID. All right. So you need your ID and proof of vaccination. So they marry that with that, and they say yes, that person belongs to that, and away you go. Which is ridiculous. There's an application that they actually released for your mobile phone. It's called Service WA, and what it's supposed to do is actually cover everything. So that should cover your ID and your proof of vaccination all in the one service. I can't get that service to work. I've tried numerous times to get it to work. I can't get it to work. And if I can't get it to work, it means there's a whole lot of other people out there that can't get it to work. I'm sure there's some geniuses out there that have no problem working it out. I'm not great on a phone, so I can't work out what they want me to do, because when you open up Service WA, straight away it sends you to another site that makes you prove your identity. So I went through that site and I proved my identity. And then you go back to Service WA and it wants you to punch in a key code from the other site. So you have to bounce back and forwards between sites and punch in a code. And I did all that. And I punched in the code. And this thing still doesn't work. So I don't know what they're doing with it, but what I'm saying is what they should do is make something much simpler that's much simpler to use, because at the moment it's an absolute disaster. And I don't know why you have to go through so many times and answer the same question, because you answer all the questions on one site and then you have to go to another site to prove your identity, and you have to answer all the questions again, and they don't ask you the question once and say, yep, that's no problem. They ask you the same question 5 or 6 times. The same question. It's madness. Obviously, someone got paid a lot of money to put this application together. I think they should pay back some of that money because they didn't do a very good job. Anyway, I'm going off track here. What they're saying now is because as you enter the place, you have to show proof of vaccination and your ID. They're wondering if people in the hospitality industry should be given more help. Maybe a bit of security, maybe some more help. I can tell you, I went into a store the other day. It was a liquor store, a bottle-o. And the only staff member that I saw there, because the other ones were working in the store, the only staff member I saw that was on the front line was having to serve customers, answer phones, do other stuff on the computer, and stop every single person entering the store and making sure that they had proof of vaccination and ID. There was one person, and I'm telling you, she was overwhelmed, and it wasn't even busy. That was just like, that was a trickle of people coming through, but she was overwhelmed with just what she had to do, and I felt sorry for her. In that case, what they should have is a person standing at the door and actually taking care of that. If that's what they want to do, they should have a person standing at the door and making sure everybody has their vaccination and their proof of ID. They shouldn't rely on the girl behind the counter. That's my thoughts on that. But what they're saying on the news, because the other night a guy asked the guy for proof of vaccination. He showed proof of vaccination, but then he was also showed for his ID. and he refused to show his ID. So the guy was refused service. Sorry, we can't serve you because we can't match up your proof of vaccination with your ID. I know, it gets muddling, doesn't it? But anyway, and that guy got all aggravated and he punched the attendant in the face. Yeah, that's not on, but you can see how it's going to happen, and apparently there's a lot of abuse that's been going on, and I can see how it's frustrating. Mind you, this is only in WA. It's because of the mandates that the Western Australian Premier put in that's causing this. It's not happening in the rest of the country. Because he wanted us all to get vaccinated. So he basically said to us, well, if you want to go here, 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 or here, or if you want to go buy yourself a beer, you need to have a double jab. Anyway, that's what's happening, and I can say, and now they're saying to the public, it's like, do you think these people should get more help from the government? And I can tell you, it's not going to come. Why? Because for the last 30 years or so, nurses, doctors, and EMT staff, blah blah blah, they've been asking for help, and they never got it. I mean, it's mainly in the emergency ward, but it happens throughout hospitals. And the fact is, nurses, doctors, and all that, they get abused all the time. And do they send any help for them? No. So if you're not going to protect your nurses and doctors, what are they really going to worry about? A bottle shop attendant? I don't think so. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about that. See ya.